This is the Netflix 1-month overview reading for the month of October 2023. It's currently August 11th, 2023, 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Netflix at the time of this reading in the extended hours is currently $421.70. That's USD. And the shuffle file that we're about to play was created on August 1st, 2023 at 1:38 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. So the overall theme in October is notably bearish. The Hermit card is a flight to safety. Usually on a technical chart, it's the revisiting of a support level that was recently, like a major support level that was recently met just in the past. So when you see it as the theme card on a 1-month reading, it's talking about a support level that recently visited, like within the last month or 2 months or maybe 3 months tops, but usually it's sooner than that. Sometimes it means that you revisit the same support level more than once within the same reading as well. It's crossed with the Tower card, so there will be a peak here, and it'll be a notable peak. It's the crossing card again, so it's like the scale of a 1 year or year-to-date chart. And it's the crossing card, or the crossing card is the Tower card, so there'll be a peak, a notable peak on a 1 year or year-to-date chart, followed by a really sharp decline off of that peak. Behavior around the high, we have a U-shaped dip that forms near the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines. So in the high correlator position for a month's reading, usually you see a peak on either side with a low in the middle, so like two highs and a low in the center in between them. Sometimes it's the high, like it's a double top at the high. And then behavior around the low, we have the Dominion card, which is notable price swings, usually bullish, but not always, notable price swings. And when you see it as the low significator card, usually means that you see the low more than once, probably twice in the midst of those price swings. Looks like we've got some pretty notable price swings around the last week, or like the end of the third week into the fourth week of the month. So let's take a look at the August reading and see how we're doing so far. We did pretty solid early on with the first low of the month being here right on the 1st, 2nd, and you can see we had our first low right there on the cusp of the 1st, 2nd. Breakout on the 7th, taking us to a peak or crest that we sold off from on the 9th. Revisit a crest on the 10th. Decline to and through support to meet a second support on the 11th. Usually rotate sideways at that point, at that second support. But I think I probably missed. There's this double X here. I don't know what's going on with the mouse right now. Good old Mercury retrograde. This double X in a lot of cases appears near a low, like a lowest low. And then we've got the Ace of Cups here, which also indicates a lowest low in a lot of regards. Then you've got the skull and bones side of the coin here. So there's quite a few things indicating that we have a low. I probably missed a low here on the 14th, 15th, probably the 14th, 15th, hard to say which one. And that would put the highest high more so at the end of the month, near this X ruin or the large labradorite, with like a highest high thus far here. So it is looking pretty accurate. I just missed the lowest, one of the lows here. But I think the pretty much the sell-off is going to be coming to like an end around the 14th, 15th for Netflix, and then we should see bullish behavior through the rest of the month. And then when we look at the 1 year, we're really nailing the 1 year. So we had a highest high here in July. We have a highest high here in July. We pushed the upper end of a range higher on a year-to-date kind of scale, and you can see we pushed the upper end of the range higher here to reach the high, and it's followed by a significant trough, which I believe in the June or the July reading, I talked about how I think this lowest low correlation is probably gonna get carried over into like August, September, where we'll probably have a lowest low there. It may not be a lowest low, it might just be like a really significant low that'll really stand out. It could be a lowest low, but I mean, that would be a real bad decline. It's probably a significant trough. Overall, Netflix looks pretty bullish for 2003, and we've been on point about that as well. Also, we had on the cusp of February, March, we had a lowest low. ended up being in early March, so you give it 2 weeks wiggle room and it's pretty much solid right there. We also had a highest high thus far in May, and you can see right there at the edge of May into June, we had a highest high there, and then a higher high in June, and then a highest high in July. It's really solid reading, guys. The 1 year was created on, if you're wondering, on October 10th, 2022 at 2:09 p.m. Eastern time. That's like, my God, guys, that's so far ahead of the year, and we're still using it today. I mean, you can't beat SML meta-analysis. So if you're interested in getting the paid version of the monthly, guys, it's a great way to support the channel. You do so here on the Our Services tab under SO Meta Posts of our website. Scroll down to monthly subscription, click on Netflix, and it's a great way to support the channel. You get the best trades that we see for the month, the ones to avoid. Usually there's a bit more extra detail. It's about 3 to 8 minutes of video at the additional content at the end of the public video. You only get it in the paid version. Thank you to all those of you that go ahead and do that. Much appreciation. All right, so let's get into the day-by-day chart behavior here. So on the first, we have a notable move to the upside. It looks like a rally into a peak or crest at the end of the day. A rally or peak into the end of the day, and it looks like a highest high for the month, probably there on the cusp of the second, third, or maybe we see it more than once on the third, bumping along resistance, but I'm advised not to chase that rally there at the end, at a peak towards the end of the day on the third. We probably see it one more time on the fourth, because it's going to look like we're going to break through at that time on the fourth midday, but instead we turn around, we fail to break through. We turn around and we decline through key support. There's a trade opportunity on the second. There's a trade opportunity on the fourth. We'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. On the fifth, early in the day, significant move to the downside. Unicursal hexagram energy there on the fifth as well, indicating a significant decline. It probably starts on the fourth and continues, maybe pausing for a little bit on the fifth, but then continuing to move to the downside on the fifth. And then on the sixth, we decline to and through support to meet a second support. We bounce along that support sideways for a bit, and then we break down through multiple supports into a trough there on the ninth. And then there's a big move to the upside on the ninth, standing out on a multi-day scale. There's also a day trade opportunity on the fifth and a day trade opportunity on the sixth. We'll talk about in more detail in the paid version, which I just explained how to get. On the 10th, we have a notable decline. There's an important price level on a multi-day scale highlighted around the cusp of the 10th, 11th. Looks like we break through it momentarily, and there's a bit of volatility on the 11th, but it ends with a fast, sudden move higher. Matter of fact, I don't think there's much of a fast, sudden move higher. There might be on the cusp of the 11th, 12th, but that rally ends. It's like we're notably declining from the rally on the 9th down through the 10th, 11th into the 12th, fast sudden move higher on the 12th, and that rally ends again. There's an important trough on the 12th that'll stand out on a multi-day, maybe a lowest low thus far. On the 13th, we attempt to establish support, and then on the 16th and the 17th, there's a lot of price change on the 16th, 17th, and a resistance level that's highlighted around the 16th, 17th. That is going to be a good mean point for positioning oneself in both directions for a straddle or strangle, and you can do so at different times because there's enough price change on the 16th and the 17th for you to be able to put those legs on at separate times and really profit from the positioning. So I think there's a rally early in the day on the 16th, taking us to important resistance, and then we decline notably into the 17th. We may see a lowest low on the 17th. We might even see it on the 16th. Most likely we see it on the 18th, but we might see it on the 17th or the 19th as well. There's a lot of things going on there indicating a lowest lows right around there. I think it's probably the 18th though. And there's an important support level there on the 18th that's highlighted. We're going to talk about the trade opportunities in more detail there on the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th in the paid version. But there's an important support level there highlighted on a year-to-date kind of scale at least, and a notable move to the upside early in the day on the 18th off of that support level. We do have a prominent trough on the 19th that'll stand out on a multi-day scale, so we probably see the low like right there around the 18th, 19th. New high forms on the 20th, or a new local high, I should say. Not a highest high, but after forming all those lows, we get a new local high on the 20th, and this is where we start to go into some price swinging, because we go from like the Ace of Swords, a lot of price change into a low around the 18th, 19th, and then a big move to the upside on the 20th, standing out on a multi-day scale, followed by a move back down through that same price level shortly thereafter, creating a prominent peak on a 1 month scale. And then we go back into what may be a lowest low again. This is also another very bottomy type of card, the Princess of Cups. So it's possible that we see the lowest low again. Remember, the price swing indications in the low significator position indicate we probably see the low more than once in the midst of price swings, and that's what we've got going on here. So we probably see the lowest low again there. There's a sideways S that forms within a channel there on the 24th. Significant trade opportunities on the 23rd and the 24th as well. And a sideways S, what I mean by sideways S on the 24th is that we from a resistance level on a multi-day scale, we decline down to support. We reverse, go all the way back to that resistance, and then reverse and go all the way back to that support. So 2 declines with an incline in between, and it happens within a channel, usually a horizontal resistance and support, but sometimes it's at an angle if it's a really strong downward trend. And there's a peak, a prominent peak that's created there on the 24th as well. Probably end to the downside on the 24th, around the cusp of 24th, 25th, and then a big move to the upside. There's a cross-rate incongruency here on the 25th, and a big move to the upside, reaching for a distant resistance. By cross-rate incongruency, I mean that in September, the sneak preview card was the Lust card. So this is where we likely see a really big move to the upside. We meet a key resistance, and we'll be like near oversold territory at key resistance here. Around the 21st, it'll be highlighted, and we'll kind of flatten out there. But then a decline midday off of a peak or crest through multiple support levels, a near overbought peak or crest. On the 27th, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance, followed by a decline through key support. And then I'm getting like a prominent trough that stands out here on the 30th. I don't think it's the lowest low, but it might be another prominent trough here on the 30th, followed by another important resistance level on the 31st that's highlighted. So we probably move to the upside to meet that resistance on the 31st. Looks like there's a higher price level than the high. It's probably a higher price level in November in the midst of a pop and drop. A higher price level in November than we see in October. But if you wanted to open up a Well, I'll talk about the trade in more detail in the paid version. With that said, guys, that's Netflix for October 2023. Don't forget to follow that rule of karma, my friends. It's super important for the channel to continue putting out content. We need to see these rule of karma. So it's the handful of people that do the rule of karma that really help to provide enough support and excitement for us to continue putting out free content like we do. That and the paid subscribers for the monthlies. We know all of you guys by name. We're also putting together a private Discord specifically for Rule of Karma followers. I call you blessed few, the angel investors of the channel. Because you're investing and you're also my angels and you're somebody else's angels. So there's going to be a Discord channel, private Discord channel that you get an invite to when you're seen regularly donating to the Rule of Karma. All right, guys, make sure to follow us if you haven't done so, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned if you got the paid version.